I'm gonna go ahead. Hi.
Hi.
I'm gonna go ahead and share the agenda again. Oh, now my little bar is there. I don't know why that wasn't there before. Okay.
So it'd be too convenient. It was there when you
Exactly.
wanted it.
When I wanted it to be. Again, thanks everyone for joining. Hopefully more will filter in. We have a few people here around the table, so thanks for coming tonight in person. Appreciate it. And for you on Zoom, hopefully this is convenient for you as well. Our main agenda for the night is to welcome the incoming freshman parents with a Q&A and sort of talk through our top 10 tips and sort of just have a casual conversation and get some things answered that maybe you're wondering about. But we do have a little bit of PTA business to attend to first, and then a brief update from Mr. Wicker, and then we'll get started with the top 10 tips from our seasoned veteran parents. So I'm going to turn it over. Elena just got here, but
Are there any changes to the April 9th minutes?
no,
there are no changes.
And we have not had any e-votes, so
even.
ends my report.
Thank you, Elena. We do have one, like I said, we had one PTA point of business. We have our 2024 slate that has been posted for 30 days. So can I have a motion to vote on the 2024-2025 slate?
Let's vote on that slate.
You
How about it?
motion?
I motion to vote on the slate.
Okay, can I have it? Thank you. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
So motion passes. So congratulations, everybody. We do have one, if anyone is interested, our vice president position is still open. That is usually the president-elect position. So taking over for the PTA president for the 2025-2026 school year. So that is still an open position. We do have a couple chairs positions that are open as well. So if anybody is interested in those, please feel to reach out. You can find my email address on the Seaholm webpage, or I can put it in the chat as well. A couple other things on my end. We had our Volunteer of the Year award presented to Rachel Ann Miller. She is the one who was in charge of the Teacher Appreciation Week last week. So there was lots of activity around her events, and she was honored at the district award ceremonies on Monday that we hosted here at Seaholm for the whole district. So that
went really well.
Yeah, it was very, very nice and well received. Oh, I said it will be held. It was held. So yes. So that was my report. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Wicker.
Wonderful. So if you didn't have a chance to go on the 6th, it was in the new auxiliary gym and it went really, really well. And we had some Seaholm students featured with their PTA reflections. Owen played his piano piece and it was wonderful. And then we had another student dance, and I'm blanking on her name, but she did a nice job as well. And for a large space that's not designed for events like that, which has poor acoustics and everything, it went really, really well. So all the people on PTA did a great job. And it was a great look for Seaholm. And we are looking forward to hosting it again in 10 to 12 years when all the other schools have had the opportunity to host it. So there's a lot of exciting things going on around here at Seaholm. The 3 sets of bathrooms opened up last week, and we have closed the last set that will be closed. So the G Hall bathrooms by the auditorium, the bathrooms connected to the auditorium, and then the upstairs by Steve Stein's broadcasting room. Those are all open now. They are brand new. The Seahall bathrooms down by Miss Ladkey and the engineering spaces, and then the special services offices bathrooms have closed, but they should be done along with all the other bathrooms. So by the start of the school year next fall, every bathroom that's not a single stall bathroom will have been ripped out, totally redone with new tile, new toilets, new sinks. Then The mirrors took a little extra time for the G Hall bathroom, so the kids let me know but those are in now too, so it's gonna be really great. This summer, they're gonna finally finish the practice fields and they will remove that
the
big
mountain.
pile of gravel. Mount Seaholm, as the kids tell me they call it. Right in front of Mount Seaholm, which is hard for you guys to see on camera. But they're ripping up this area. We're adding
Yes.
55 more parking spots. So I
Okay,
know that will be well received for our current sophomore parents whose junior kids might want another parking spot next year. And then the space between the softball field and the track the temporary road will be pulled up this summer and it will be replaced with a green space that will also function throwing of the shot put and the distance. So we're really hoping by the start of school in the fall, currently still slated for September 3rd, that the entire outside, all the construction on this phase of the bond will be done. And if you haven't had an opportunity to go see a softball game or a baseball game or a track meet, the new facilities are really, really great. Same thing on par with our gym. Also,
Bond almost over.
no, it just started. This is phase 1 of 3.
Oh,
So so Seaholm is not, I don't think we take part in a lot of phase 2, so that our next step will be in phase 3. So it was a 3-phase bond, I think over 10 years. So we have some other things coming in phase 3, but this summer we are also, besides the parking lot out here, they're redoing the entrance out front. So if you're dropping kids off over the summer, you're going to need to come around to the pool entrance because the front of the building will be under construction. Miss Galanka's foods lab is totally being redone.
Yeah.
So if you have a student taking foods and nutrition next year, they'll have a brand new space. And then the ceramics lab, which is our most popular fine arts class, is being redone. So it's going to be a lot of busy stuff going on this summer here. We're looking forward to the brand new school for those spaces next year. 100%.
just like,
They have never,
Seaholm.
this is my fault. They told me it would be gone before the first day of school. It was my fault for not asking which school year they meant. And apparently they meant 24-25, not 23. I think it will be because the city is involved in this one because that access cut out front is technically Seaholm's property, but they would really like to make sure that that's open by the time the traffic comes up again for school. So I have faith in Barton Malo and IDS and our crew that it will be done on time. They have never let me down.
A, B, or C.
I forget which one. We must have the A one because Seaholm's very important. The 18th. Some exciting events coming up. So we know that seniors' last day is next Thursday, the 23rd. So we will have the annual clap out for the seniors. So we are calling the seniors down to the auditorium about 10 a.m. And myself and the administrative team, Tim Seabor and the band, will lead the seniors out on that morning, out of the auditorium door where the ramp is, and then in front of the school down Lincoln, and then down Cranbrook, and then it ends in the student parking. And after the clap out is over and everyone's parents and grandparents, aunts, uncles, and friends, the senior picnic will take place in the football field. And then the seniors will be done for the day. And then senior skip day is that following day. And just to make everyone's lives easier, we're just excusing all of the seniors for senior skip day. So parents don't all 300 of them do not need to email the building to say that my child is excused. It's just easier that way.
that's very nice.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. If you have not seen the pictures, prom was last Friday, went really, really well. The new student Congress class did a really great job with the decorations, and the kids had a lot of fun, and we were really pleased. And I even had fun in the photo booth. We had a good time at that. And then, of course, we have finals coming up, and then the end of the school year. So we're all looking forward to that. And then graduation will be that following Sunday at the new location, Meadowbrook, which we visited and thought was going to be a really great time. It's a really good space. I think parking is free.
Parking is free.
Parking is free instead of $10. Parking is also much better organized because it
Yes.
is.
And probably more handicap access.
Yeah,
as well.
and they will have parking attendants there.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be. I know this switch was unexpected, but I think it's closer to most of us, and I think it's gonna be a much better place for us to go through. Besides that, you know, we are finishing up AP testing this week. And so we had, our biggest AP was today, AP, our juniors who took AP language. Had 165 kids in the gym this morning, so they were excited about that, and been a good testing session. And we look forward to next year when 9 of the APs are going digital. So we don't know all of them, but much like the SAT this year, 9 of the APs next year will be fully online on a computer, which they kind of did during COVID. I was an AP grader back then. It was not a great experience, so College Board has had some time to figure it out. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
The clap out, where do parents assemble and or?
Literally, parents just park wherever there's a flat space for their car.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not necessarily our number one endorsement, but there are so many people here and there's not enough parking spots.
Yeah.
So no one will be ticketed, but people park on the grass so really anywhere that's safe to park, and parents can line up anywhere along the path. Like, a lot of parents kind of tend towards that end point. So that's where they are, gonna be finished, but
Yeah.
you know, I see parents anywhere along that whole route.
Okay.
Were you able to get, was Justin's able to get the updated venue card out?
They did.
Cause I know that was.
It was not necessarily what all family, I mean, it was not much bigger than a standard business card. It did have
Yeah.
all the information on it, but it wasn't nearly as pretty as the actual
Sure.
invitation, but it was a nice compromise that Justin's met with the district and just to send to everyone.
Okay. That's good. There was a solution. Does anybody online or in person have any questions for Mr. Wicker before we go into our incoming family presentation? I'll stop sharing my screen so we can see everybody a little bit better. Let me check the chat real quick. I don't see anything in the chat. So.
I'm not going anywhere. People think it's a
Yeah.
question.
Perfect. Well, if anybody thinks of anything, yeah, like Mr. Wicker said, he's not going anywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up my presentation I have for this evening. Again, thanks everybody for attending. Let's see. This. Oh, that's not it. Oh, I have to re-sign in. Sorry about that, you guys. Hang on a minute.
So many tabs.
I know, that's because I'm really busy right now. Oh, it doesn't really want to do anything, does it? Oh, here it is. Never mind, that's right here. I'm not very familiar with slides. I just click on slideshow, right? My screen sharing is paused.
Loading,
Oh, it says loading. Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Mhm.
Still says paused.
Still says loading. It's very slow.
I am on the school's
Don't worry,
Wi-Fi.
8th grade parents, the internet is usually very fast here at Seaholm. This would not usually happen for your students, don't worry. Top tier.
Top tier Wi-Fi.
Right, you think it'd be running? They're
Um,
usually running 1,000+ devices on the Wi-Fi every day. We're also getting, as a former history major, I don't really understand. All the Wi-Fi boxes are getting replaced with better boxes.
How old is the original?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I'm gonna reload it, guys, just.
They
because-
probably need replacement.
Yeah,
Is
but
it
there,
what,
I've been
Wi-Fi
told,
6 now or
I've been
something?
told by my tech guy, the new ones are better. That's about as much as he wanted to explain to me when I asked. That's not.
We get into that whole network thing.
I'm gonna try
Packet
again.
Loss.
You got upload and download.
He's happy they'll be back.
It says loading. Oh,
Hooray.
it looks like you guys can see it now. Is that true?
Yes.
Yay. Okay, so this presentation was actually put together by a PTA mom, Jenny Blackman. I'm not sure if anybody knows her, but she was a secretary for many years. And she actually graduated out last year, bless you. So we've just kept this going. And changed it, updated it a little bit, but it's very relevant. Please feel free to put your questions in the chat. Please feel free to ask questions along the way about certain things. This is all a time of change for you guys, so we want to be here to help, hold your hand in any way we can. So I'll start with the top 10 tips and hopes, and then we'll switch over to Q&A. But like I said, please feel free to ask questions as we go along. So basically, we're here tonight to talk about what are some things you can do to help your student have a great freshman year. So this is our top 10. Drum roll, please. Our number one item is to attend the activities fair. So this,
Far left of those 4 choices.
if I what, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. So, the activities fair this year actually is May 30th. So first of all, encourage all your children to come. They probably are gonna want to drop you off at the door. You're more than welcome to do that, but we will have a PTA table inside, maybe with some cookies or refreshments. We haven't decided yet, but so come say hi to us, ask questions. You're more than willing to walk around. I know that Amy Murray's here, and she told me her husband actually played chess with the chess club when you know, he was supposed to be walking around
They're real
their
sharks.
incoming
sharks.
freshmen. So but the key is to have them come, encourage them to come, have them sign up for lots of different clubs and sports. Signing up is not a commitment. They may be contacted, but it just basically gets you on the email list. So you'll get the information about that team or club, their timing, when they run, what's happening. So it's just, again, to get information about that club or activity. And have them put down their email. This is your student's email and your student's cell and yours as well, if there's an option to. Again, like I said, parents can and do attend the activities fair, but kids often, you know, they go, they meet up with their friends and they walk around together. So, that's a good question. Do you have it? It is in
5:30 to 7.
5:30 to 7 on May 30th.
Thursday.
It's a
It's also
Thursday.
the night of senior awards in the auditorium.
Yes, it is.
It's a very long day for Mr. Wicker.
Yes, yes. Well, we like to add all those days on one day for you.
I will tell you guys, there are the typical clubs you would think to expect at a high school. So you're going to show up and we have sports will be there and the newspaper and the yearbook. But then the kids have started all sorts of really eclectic groups that your son or daughter might not realize they want to be part of. I know the esports team will be there this year and that's going to be continuing over. They had a spot at Derby and they'll be here at Seaholm.
Yeah.
But there's just there's just lots of different things and lots of kids doing really cool stuff. So it's definitely worth stopping by.
And I actually have a link to all the clubs available and activities available later in the presentation. So, okay, this is our second tip. So the first tip is go to the activities fair to find out what you want to join. And then our second tip is join. So join that team, join that club, encourage your child to join, especially for the fall. Fall sports are great to get involved with. They usually start in the summer. So basically it gives you this group of friends that you're already friends with or somebody to eat lunch with that you already have, you know, somebody near them that they already know going into Seaholm. You will also meet other parents as part of like the team booster club. So that's also important as your child goes into high school, just to have those connections. So fall sports teams usually start practicing, official practices start in August. Sometimes they have optional, well, not sometimes, a lot of times they have some optional captains practices that run all summer. And you can find the coaching information on the Seaholm's website. And basically the recommendation is to reach out in June timeframe to make sure they get that information about summer practices. And then here is the link, and we can send this out. This is the link to the activity guide. So this has all the clubs, all the teams, everybody who's going to be there on that activities night is listed in this activity guide. Does anybody have any questions, comments so far? I have see something in the chat. Is it possible to add the link to the chat? Yes, I will add the link to the chat. No problem. Okay. I'm going to continue. Number 3, check email and accounts. So I'm not sure if your kids are familiar with this or doing this already, but it's good to encourage them to check their email and their Schoology accounts on a daily basis. So you should also write down their logins and passwords and keep it saved somewhere for easy access. You probably might already be doing this for Derby, but it's just a reminder to make sure you have that information in a safe place. They will be getting information there that you really don't want to miss. So they should get into the habit, you know, of checking their email and their Schoology on a weekly basis, maybe even with you. And then they should be checking their Power School as well. So just getting into that habit of checking these things that they will, you know, continue to use for the rest of their life, just getting them to start checking them now. So we are going to semesters here at Seaholm. So I had to change it a little bit. I had to write semester instead of time. That was fun. But
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
yeah. But number 4 is create a group chat or a snap group on that starting day of each new semester. Suggest that your child create like a group text or a Snapchat group with at least 2 to 3 other kids in each of their classes. This is really important because if they have a question about homework or they're not sure about due dates, they will have somebody to ask and that should be able to get them a quick answer. So sometimes entire classes will create a group, but you know, it's just making sure that your child is reaching out to peers about their work and their homework. And also those text groups could eventually turn into great study groups. So,
And oftentimes a peer group will respond at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, where a
Right.
teacher probably will not. So
right.
granted, they should probably be asleep, but you have a better chance of hearing from a peer that late than necessarily hearing from a sleep.
Number 5, this number 5 was all about XBlock. So XBlock is changing next year. So basically what we were trying to do with our tip number 5 is just encouraging your students to talk to their teachers. We have a new, what is it called? Advisory hour.
Yeah.
So that
Twice
will
a week,
be a
Tuesday and
quarter,
Thursday.
they'll get a quarter credit for that. So, but that's not necessarily, XBlock was to get extra help and to talk to teachers. So we don't necessarily have that determined time. Some teachers will have office hours, although they're not contracted to have office hours. But if they do have a teacher that offers them, then you should definitely use them. So it really is the best way to get extra help. You're getting information directly from the teacher. And it's that one-on-one teacher-student learning that could potentially happen. A lot of the teachers here will, they're at school here, what, at like 6:30
Some
or
of them.
before?
If your son or daughter has Mr. Coggle, he's here at like 6 a.m. There's times that he lets me know things
Yeah.
that are going on in the building, like, oh, there's no power today, by the way, if you didn't.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of teachers that's come in very early. We have some staff who stay after school every day.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know,
And
while
they
it's not
also-
contractual, there are many teachers here at both of those things.
Yeah, and they also, there's teachers that have snacks. So it's just really encouraging those kids to come to them. And so that's what we're really trying to say is just encourage your students to talk to your teachers and build that relationship with the teacher. Eventually, when you get to senior year, I know you don't want to think about that, but you're going to have to think about who you want to have a recommendation letter from. And so it's also important to build that relationship with your teachers in high school. Number 6 is join the Seaholm Facebook groups. So we do have a main Seaholm High School PTA Facebook group. But there's also a group for each grade level. So we encourage you to join those groups. Chances are if you have a question, you could get a quick answer from another parent. But it also has information about upcoming events and highlights what is going on at school. So you basically can ask your questions that you have there, get pretty good immediate feedback. And then also, like I said, we have the grade level groups as well. So that's a good way to keep in touch with the community.
Started a Facebook page.
They have, yes.
And then, don't forget Instagram.
So Joe has, we do have Instagram.
We do have an Instagram
Yeah,
link as well. I know it's on the PTA website. But we can certainly populate the Facebook with an Instagram address.
Because I've done the Instagram, because then if you're in Instagram with like something on Seaholm, I end up having all the other groups, the kids, like for the soccer team. or the
Yeah, there's
soccer-
many Seaholm based named groups there.
Mhm.
So it's in Seaholm. But yes, we'll be sure that that's there.
and again, we can share all these and
Mhm.
so the other form of communication, so you'll have, I mean, Facebook, Instagram, but then we also have our weekly e-news. So when school starts, we just want to make sure that you are getting and reading the weekly Seaholm emails. And there is a sign up on the website, but we found that you don't want to unsubscribe from your middle school. If you're already getting middle school e-news, don't do anything because you'll automatically roll over.
The
So-
only exception is if for some reason someone's on the Zoom,
BCS.
yeah. Or
Or
if your child goes to
Berkshire.
Berkshire, you will not be rolled
Yeah.
over to Seaholm.
That's
You'll
true.
need to contact the office, but if you are at Derby right now, you
Yeah.
do not need to, if you're getting Derby's e-news, don't do anything, you'll start getting our very exciting e-news soon.
Yes. Number 8's kind of fun and probably something that a lot of people don't think about because again, you're just starting high school, but it's important to start a list of high school accomplishments. So start a document or a note in your phone or just something. And as your child joins teams or clubs, write them down. I have a list in my phone just that has freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, think of what my daughter is doing, and I had one for my son as well. So if they receive any awards, add them to the list as they volunteer, keep track of that. Basically encourage them to keep track of it as well. But they need this information to apply to college, apply to NHS, and basically keeping track of their hours for not only health class, but their volunteer cords for senior year for graduation. And it's just, it's hard to recreate that or remember it later. So if you're just keeping a running list, oh,
Something in the
what
chat.
did I do? Awesome. If you're keeping a running list, then it just helps. How do we sign up on the e-news if we are at BCS? I have a link that I can give you. Actually, I won't be able to do it right now since I'm sharing my screen, but I need to put the link for e-news.
We'll have lots of links to have in the chat.
Yeah, don't sign off right away. I'll put a bunch of links up there.
I'll put them in the minutes too.
Okay,
The minutes are sure they'll be in there.
perfect.
No, strip them from there and put them on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, there we go. Never mind. They're going to be on Facebook and Instagram. Maybe that'd be easier than the chat. How do I close the chat? Oh, there we go. What's next? I promise I'm not talking the whole time. I'm almost done. I'm on number 9 already. So number 9 is Make Me a Maple Mentor Program. So your child, part of the registration, before registration is the Make Me a Maple Mentor Program. So I don't think dates have been chosen for that yet. We have registration dates.
Yeah, registration dates are out. Mr. Barber and the Make Me Maple team, that should be out soon.
Okay. So,
Allegedly, along with the detailed calendar will also be released.
yeah, that's 1 or 2 weeks, right?
I'm telling you, I'm doing everything I can, but that one's above my pay grade.
So, basically a current senior or a rising senior or a rising junior, will be, they'll make contact with you. Basically they have this Make Me a Maple Mentor Program that they participate in. And it's really helpful, because the child has somebody, an upperclassman that they know that first day of school. And they meet them at the freshman orientation basically before the school starts. So they also have things throughout the year that they do with the children as well. I have another.
Just as a note, as I was talking with our teachers in charge of it,
Thank you.
it's really hard, like the upperclassmen are trying very hard with some events, but they're hard to do if none of the freshmen do.
Yes,
So I
encourage.
understand that they might not think it's cool to go to these group events, but it's hard. I mean, I go talk to my mentors and be like, I feel like we could be doing more. And their response these last couple of years is we try to do events, but none of the freshmen want to do.
When is freshman orientation?
That,
Well, that's registration is out and orientation is not
I
out.
think that Make Me a Maple Day is going to be that either the 25th, 26th, or 27th. It's that week before school starts.
Yeah.
I think either on Tuesday or Wednesday, but we are figuring that out.
But I think only the registration dates are released right now.
Yes. Which
Right.
are, I think, are the week before.
So that's still
Yeah.
to be announced.
So we're hoping that with the rest of the detailed calendar should be coming soon. I was told last week, 1
Under
to 2
2
weeks.
weeks.
But as you know, that I'm a sucker for being told things though, so we'll see.
Our last tip, in my opinion, is the best tip. Buy the poster board now. So just buy a couple of the foam core poster boards the next time you're at Target or Dollar Tree and just put them away. Because at some point your child will come to you, usually in the evening when you're ready to go to bed or wind down, and they will tell you that you need poster board for the next day. So basically this will save you a late night trip out trying to get a poster board. So yeah, that's kind of our most favorite tip on the list, but
I'm gonna second, this is similar but different. Your student will also have a device. Maybe encourage them to know where it is and
oh, yes.
know where the charger is. And maybe even bring it to school.
I never lose a library.
Well, of course not.
So that concludes the presentation part of the evening. So now I would like to open up for Q&A and discussion. Maybe somebody has a story they want to share. Maybe they want to think about what their most favorite tip was when their kid was an incoming freshman, or maybe the incoming freshman parents have a question. Open it up to you guys.
I have a couple of tips from the media center. There is, and I put this out there, so please everyone chime in. There's an email for the administration emails that are sent out by Seaholm that I would highly recommend everybody provide their email to get those parents, provide your email to receive those emails from the administration. Do we know, does that happen at registration? Is that in conjunction with the directory? Is that the e-news? Because I know that, for instance, Amal, you don't receive those emails from Kathy Tajaris. on behalf of the school that are always filled with incredible information.
I think that those transfer over the same time the e-news is transferred.
So that's an e-news.
It's an e-news. So
Okay.
as long as you're signed up for the
Okay, so,
e-news.
because I know that
you
that's
should be
always
receiving.
incredibly helpful. The front office will send out emails with all kinds of information on an ongoing regular basis, maybe 1 or 2 times a week, that are very helpful, and highly recommend you be sure that you enroll for those.
Doesn't that happen during registration? You give the parent guardian information and you put your emails on there and that's how they get them?
I think so, but I also believe there is
It's
some
transfer
carryover
for
from
e-news.
Derby, but I think we should do both. And not to pry into your personal lives, we occasionally push cell phone texts as well.
Yeah,
So
Yep.
make sure that your cell phone that you have signed up is still the cell phone that you use.
yeah,
Because
good point.
sometimes there are just reminders or quick things that are going on in the immediacy. You know,
Check your
No
spam.
letting.
Depends on the email
Yeah.
and-
yeah.
Along those same lines, at registration, you'll be offered the opportunity to be a part of the directory. We would recommend that you become a part of that directory. If you join the PTA, we recommend that as well. You get that directory as part of the PTA enrollment. So that's something to consider as well. And that'll, you can sign up, I guess, anytime really, but that can learn more about it at the activities fair and or at registration in the fall
Mhm.
or late summer, I should say. The other thing that I had, my boys both go here, and during either the Make a Maple or the Maple Mentor program, come in and walk around the school. Like, get your bearings straight ahead of time. I don't know if everybody's like, yeah, that's obvious or not, but it really helped so that day one, your students had a sense of where they were going and where their first class was, and it just made it that much more seamless a transition from the unknown to the known. So that's a thought for you all.
Like where the lunchroom is.
Bathrooms, lunchroom.
The brand new bathrooms.
Yeah.
And just little things like if your student has a 0 in front of their classroom number, like A001, that's on the lower level. A101 is here on the main level, and then A201 is upstairs. That's something that I get a lot of questions about. from
Oh,
the
that's a good idea. There's another question. I'm gonna jump to the chat. It says, when do freshmen get their schedule and what is the first day of school like?
The schedule, we hope to have out, by early June, depending on some things going on with central office. The first day of school is a half day, and the half day is centered around team building and connection. So there's not a syllabus handed out on the first day. There's not an assignment on the first day. It's the teachers, doing something intentional to help the kids to get to know each other and get to know them, as a person, not just their, social studies teacher, but maybe even a little bit about themselves. Yep, September 3rd.
But they do go through their whole
They go through
class,
their whole
schedule.
it's a half day
A half day, but
of truncated coursework. I think it will probably run 7:50 to 10:50. I believe that is the half day schedule, and we will have all 6 hours in that day, but no lunch.
Did that answer your question, Katie?
June, they get which schedule in June?
We're hoping to have the schedule for next year on Power
Was the
School.
question their class schedule or the
Class
school
schedule.
Their class schedule.
Class
So
schedule.
They given that in August though, right?
it depends. If we can push it out beforehand, we would like to try, but
Sometimes, yeah, and that's usually in Power School.
Correct.
So if you already are, I forget, are the middle schools like the Power School?
they, middle
Yeah.
school use Power School. We will do,
Okay.
usually there is I forget what they call it, step up day, when the system removes all the seniors and moves everyone up a grade. So, and that's when we can start accessing, the current 8th graders can start accessing the high school.
Yeah,
Which is
sometimes
not
they're,
particularly different than the Power School you use in middle schools.
sometimes the schedule is available before you even know it in Power
Yeah.
School.
We are trying our best.
It's like a secret submission. Okay, there's another question. I think so school start time is 7:50 a.m. Yes, it is. What was the decision on start time from the survey we completed earlier this year?
So I know that, as far as I've been told, I haven't seen any personal I've not seen any survey data given to me,
Mhm.
but it was overwhelmingly favorable to 750, both from the teaching staff and the public survey. Though I don't know what that means. I have not seen any of, I don't know if that means 70-30. I heard that when the teachers were polled, it was close to 70-30 and 750 start time.
But yes, it's and it's official.
Yes.
7:50 to 2:50 is a full day schedule.
I don't want to take discussion, but does that mean shared buses with middle school?
I do not, that like the detailed calendar has not been made aware to me. You know, someday maybe, but not currently.
You really want that better?
Is advisory hour, they have to sign up for that or everybody does it?
Everyone.
What I thought, my daughter said that you have to sign up. for that. I
No.
said, no, I'm pretty sure you have to go to that.
Built into the
That's
schedule.
Built
what I
into the
thought.
school day.
Okay.
Can you explain advisory hour?
Sure. So advisory hour will meet twice a week. So one of the largest piece of student data that we've gotten over the last couple of years is this feeling of lack of connection to the building. So one of the goals of advisory, which it's not quite like a homeroom, but it's a little bit like a homeroom. So advisory will meet twice a week. And those advisories will be by grade. And then you will have the same advisory teacher for your entire 4 years at Seaholm. So if you are assigned Mr. Wicker, fabulous social studies teacher as freshmen, you and about 19 to 20 more of your classmates, you will be in advisory with me for all 4 years. It gives those students kind of a place that, I mean, there is credit that is garnered from advisory, but there's not a grade. So it gives you an adult in the building that you hopefully get to know fairly well, and it gives you someone you can talk to that isn't assigning you a grade. And the goal of advisory is twofold. One is this connection building, but also we have a curriculum we're working on. We have a committee that's working with Groves and Seaholm that is getting together, and there are four major categories they're working with every week. So 1 week a month, I think, will be executive functioning. One will be, so now actually, you know what? There are 4 of them. I don't want to say them wrong right now, but that has, when that gets more detailed, we will send it out on e-news exactly what they are. It's not a secret. I just don't want to say one and be wrong, but I know executive functioning, college and career readiness, social emotional learning might be the third one.
Yeah.
And I forget the 4th one. And then the other day of the week, Thursday, will work kind of like what we do right now with academic lab. So if you've ever had a student with an academic lab, the teachers will meet with kids and they'll go through PowerSchool together. We'll see, talk about missing assignments and what they can be doing. It will also be a time when we're going to replace some of the things we usually pull kids out of for. So we will use advisory for some of those class assemblies and signing up for, filling in the information for testing or things like that. So it's really designed to, kind of give them that place to have an anchor in the building, be able to work on some things that we see that all students are struggling, giving them some academic support, and hopefully just kind of, also gives them some time to work on things that they need to work on or work through.
This is a good question. How do freshmen pay for lunch? So there is there's a website for that.
Yes, I believe it's the same
Um,
system as the middle school.
Is it the
E-funds?
E-funds?
Yeah.
No, no.
My-
No?
No, it's
my
pay-
lunch something.
It's Pay My School or something.
I do it out every.
But I believe it's the
different.
same, I believe it's the same system
Exactly. the
as we
same.
do at the middle schools.
Yeah.
I have also not heard anything definitive from the state, one way or the other, about the continuation of the free lunch program. So I have not heard that we have it next year, but I also have not heard that we don't have it next year.
Okay.
As far as I know, no one knows the answer to that. But if one of you guys do know the answer to that, there's a lot of people who'd like to know.
That's an awesome.
So the other part of that was about leaving campus. So we have an open lunch here at Seaholm for juniors and seniors that have approval from their parents to be able to leave for lunch, but the freshmen and sophomore stay here for lunch. And they're asking if we use the same system as BCS. So we know we use the same as Derby, but I don't know if
I'm gonna
we.
go out on a limb and assume it's the same system.
It's the same system.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody else said it is. So yes, it's the same as BCS and Derby.
And they
probably
can
Berkshire.
they can also pay cash. If they bring cash to school, you can use cash to buy lunch as well. You don't have, we prefer the ID because it's easier. They scan it and they move on, but they do accept cash.
Oh, I'm gonna give a tip. This popped into my head. So when you sign up for registration, you're gonna be inundated with a lot of, you can pay for your yearbook, you can pay for PTA dues, you can pay for
Field day
if-
t-shirt.
a field day t-shirt, which is
should do
very
that.
important.
Yeah,
You
for
should
sure.
definitely do that. You can pay for, all kinds of things. So the one thing that you do want to make sure that you paid for though is field day t-shirt. And what I was going to say oh, I know. If you have a family who likes to go to the sporting events, you should buy the athletic pass. In the past, it's been $100. You can put all your family members on it. Your student will get into free at all the, not tournaments, but all the games at Seaholm, not just football, but basketball, swimming, water polo, and Groves as well.
Only when they're playing Seaholm.
Only when they're
Oh,
playing
right.
Seaholm, yeah. So, but it's just sign up for the athletic pass. In the past, like I said, it's been $100 for the whole family. And it's great. You get into all those games for free.
And along those lines, to jump in on that, as a freshman parent, a new parent, Andrea knows this from me, she's got a kid a year older than mine. Just buy it all right up front, because then you don't have to think about it later. Just 2 months later when it's homecoming, or a month later, you're like, oh my gosh, what do I have to go on? What's that app I have to go on? You don't remember that app and you're calling your friends and it's chaos. So just do as much of it as you can in August.
Yes.
And you're good.
So Michelle wants to point out, thank you, Michelle. Field day is a big deal, very fun. Kids need a t-shirt to participate. That's exactly true. So everybody is broken up into their classes. So freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, they come up with a theme. It's not all just sports based. There's acting, there's a charity component to it. There's a lot of different ways to get involved. There's leadership opportunities with field day, and it is at the beginning of that school year. So for incoming freshmen, it can be a little bit overwhelming. We actually are still looking for our class of 2028 parent reps. So if anybody is interested in doing that or learning more about what that is, they do help out with parent rep or with field day. They do have teacher representatives for their class, but we do also need some parent supervision once in a while for some of the after school time when the kids are getting together.
At least.
What's that? Yeah, 5 to 6. Yeah.
Parents, and if you can't be like there at the committee, you can help give snacks for when they have to do activities afterwards. And even then, sometimes we have to have parents here to watch the kids do their banners or practice or something like that. So if you can't like be on that committee, but there's still opportunities to help. So don't think that you have to sign up and you have to be there all the time.
Yeah.
There's some behind the scenes work.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's
Yeah,
lots.
I've done it. It's
Yeah.
not hard.
I see Marie and Ben.
Yep.
I was told that they are concerned with turning on the information to new families too soon, because they think that if you start getting stuff about this school year, it will be very confusing. It's not, I necessarily don't agree, but I believe that new families who have submitted their information should start receiving the emails from Seaholm starting in June. So just in a few more weeks, all the end of the year stuff and then all the stuff over the summer. If it comes into into June and you haven't received anything, feel free to reach out to the school and we will take care of it.
I'm going to go back to volunteering for a moment. One of the things that really helped make that transition smooth for not only my boys, but for my wife and I, was being able to volunteer at your convenience, at your ability, as your time allows. And there are a number of opportunities to volunteer, whether it's the PTA, as you see here, or if it's a sporting event, or any of the the class functions. There are many ways to volunteer, and it's great to do so because you meet other parents that are, in the same boat as you, and you can talk about the things that your child has succeeded in and how they've transitioned and things of that sort. So it's critical to build that community early and often, I would say, and volunteering provides you that opportunity to meet new people, meet people like you in the same boat, along with students and things of that sort. So a plug for volunteering.
Yeah.
Always looking for homecoming chaperones.
Mhm.
So
And even when your kids say they don't want you there, they do want you there and
and we want you there.
so, but yeah,
Homecoming, I think, is Saturday, August.
October,
October, it's not that early.
first week,
It's the first weekend in
of
October.
October.
That Friday is field day. That Friday, the first Friday in October is the homecoming football game. And then that Saturday is the homecoming dance. I think it's October 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
13th is
It's the first weekend.
Yes. A great time.
Okay. Oh, Michelle wants to point out, thanks, Michelle, a good point. Parents are able to attend field day, so your child might tell you, no, you don't need to come. It's fine. Field day is a lot of fun, and you should attend. And, but yeah, it's the homecoming football game, day. Basically, that's what we do at school that day. That is field day. And then kids are usually released after field day.
Around noon,
And then the
Okay.
homecoming football game is that night. And then homecoming dance is the following night.
which is always here at the building.
Yes. So
And-
that's,
buy your t-shirt in August when you're buying your athletic pass and your
Yes.
PTA directory and everything. Just get it done all at that one time.
exactly.
Do you want those four having them?
Oh,
The
you're at the
four.
4
That's right.
Oh,
advisory, going back to advisory
college and
hour.
career readiness, better together, community building, executive functioning, student wellness. So I was pretty
Yeah, you were
close.
close.
But that was, sent out via an email to everyone.
It was in the Seaholm.
Does anybody have any questions specific to, we still have some time left, so we have 5 minutes left. So if anybody has any questions, shoot away. Or if anybody has any other tips. Or stories of success.
I like to quiz my kids because they don't like to check their email. So I'll say, do you have the schedule for the half day yet? And they'll say, no, I don't think so. Well, I can see it. Okay, fine. And they go and they check their email. So,
Or if they email a teacher, please have them check their email because the
Yeah.
teacher will probably respond. And there's nothing worse than talking to a kid and then like, oh, I didn't check my email, even though I emailed you.
Do we know which assistant principal is the 2020 class of 2028?
Mr. Brad Shupry will
Okay.
be the freshman and sophomore principal next year. And then Miss Jen Hodson will be 10th and 11th, 11th and
11
12th.
and 12, okay. That's another interesting thing that Seaholm does. They keep the assistant principal with the kids throughout their time here, so they get used to somebody and that's good. We also have the resource officer here.
Yep. Kyle
So,
McCannell, he should be back. It's a 3-year contract with Birmingham Police and he's great.
so that's another person that will be here for the kids. If school starts at 7:50, what time should students arrive?
So should bus
Are you a senior or a freshman? Because the
You know-
seniors are flying in by the seat of their pants.
So the buses start dropping, I think the buses start dropping students off about 7:15. The building is open 6:30, I think, because we sometimes have testing, like a testing center beforehand. So the building is open prior to 7:50. I'm not sure with the later start if they're going to adjust the time of the morning testing center and that
Mhm.
time when the building will be open. But we will release that no later than August before things go. Pick up and drop off, it depends on, I find the pickup and drop off to be easier and quicker going off of Lincoln by the front door.
Mhm.
But students often get dropped off by the pool doors as well, but also all of the students that park in the pool doors are also arriving at that area, so the front door might be easier.
Yeah, I would recommend, I've always dropped off at Lincoln.
What time do sports start? I'm not sure, and the nature of that question.
It depends on the sport.
Like, so winter, summer, fall sports will actually start in over the summer. Yes, so I see your daughter's a swimmer.
Yes.
August 12th is the first day MHSAA allows official practices to start.
So Carl and the girls will be here August 12th. I think that the captains will have practices earlier than that in August and maybe even July. I know that I swam for Carl, and I know that there are some swim teams that even use the summer clubs
We
for.
actually have, I mean, we already have the schedule, so
Okay.
if this person wants to maybe send me your email address in the chat, then I can send you some information about specific to the swim team. There's also, some of the fall sports have getaway camps, so you're gonna wanna know that information. Swim is one of them, and they also have a car wash. Tennis, is it for boys or girls? The tennis question, boys. Sarah, that's a fall sport, so you would want to be finding out that information in the summer as well.
I'm not sure if we have a club team. We have a freshman team, a JV team, and a varsity team.
Right, but it's not a club, it's the actual team. You have to try out for.
Yeah, they have JV.
As we got, and we have lots of tennis courts. We expanded our tennis courts last fall, so.
And normally the tryouts for the boys tennis in the past have been in August.
Also there, I don't know how closely people watch the press releases from the MHSAA. They have officially added 2 sports to the high school roster. Starting in the 25-26 school year, boys volleyball will be in the
Oh.
spring and girls field hockey will be in the fall.
Nice.
Just because they've added them does not mean that Seaholm is necessarily adding them, but they will be added. But we already have some studies going between our 2 administrators and our deputy superintendent to looking into how feasible it will be to add 2 more varsity sports.
Okay, if you drop off on Lincoln okay, this is a tip from Michelle. If you drop off on Lincoln, which is what we call the front door, approaching from the east to the west is less stressful, but watch for U-turns occurring from the eastbound traffic. So it is a bit stressful, but until you learn kind of the informal rules and what everybody sort of does. I agree with that.
But that whole area is getting done, right?
Yes, it's going to be
Yeah.
even better
Yeah.
and done
Yeah.
before September 3rd.
Katie wants to know if there are any no-cut sports for freshmen. Yes, cross country is a great, fantastic, I mean, that's a cross country, as in the fall. It's a great sport. Swim is no cut. What's it? Tennis is, you would make a team.
Track, you mean?
Yeah.
I-
Track
Football, I don't.
Track is in the fall, or, no, I'm sorry, track is in the winter, no, in the spring.
in the spring.
That's a no
track
cut.
Doing right now. I
Um,
think boys water polo is a no
boys
cut.
water polo is no cut, girls water polo is no cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Try it
Yeah.
now while you're-
go on May 30th, the activities.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fair.
May
In Atlanta.
30th, activities fair.
Go on the website.
But yeah, there are a lot of no cut sports.
Especially at the freshman level.
Yeah, and I would say, I mean, if your child isn't really sure what to do, cross country is a great way to get involved in the fall if they want to do a sport, just because it's.
There's
Great group of
also,
kids.
sorry, the fine arts theater and band and all of those things pick up in the fall. So be sure if your kids are interested in the arts, there's plenty of arts things to do as well.
And band camp in August, right?
Oh, band camp is in the summer.
And it's complicated.
Band is complicated.
You can't, yeah. But jazz band auditions are in October.
There's also a pet band that they play at basketball games and some other places.
Oh, that's fun. So we are now officially 3 minutes over. So, does anybody have any other questions before I adjourn the meeting? Again, I would just want to thank everybody for coming. I hope this was informational and, now you have a few more faces, and names. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions. We're always here for you guys.
Thank
So,
you.
thank you. And we'll put those links on on our Facebook and Instagram instead of here, so everybody can go get on with their evening. Thanks again.